Your eyes do not deceive you. The Claw Pod is back. We are back together. So good to see you, Ross and Marshall. Good to see you guys as well joining us here on the podcast this week. I feel a little out of sorts. I know it's like a bike. We're supposed to just jump right back on and pick up where we left off, right? But it's been a little bit since we got together, and we'll kind of get into some details on what was going on over the last couple of weeks. But how are you guys doing this week?
Fantastic. I don't know about Marshall over there, but I'm doing quite well.
I've been sick, man. I've been sick for the past 2 days, and so other than that, I've been great. But
have you really? What have you had? You haven't had the new COVID, have you? With the razor blade COVID, is that what they're calling it?
That's you're the first person to. I didn't even know there was a new one, man. Is there really a new one?
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
Okay.
It's called razor blade COVID because you feel like you swallow razor blades.
Yeah, that's what I have. I knew that.
Wow. Is it really?
No, I have like it feels like the flu, kind of just like tender skin, and
yeah,
I just call it. I just feel like a sissy. I can't jump in water. Anytime I'm in a group with like Ross, my dad, and the kids, I'm always usually
the first one to jump in, and now you're like, it's cold.
Water's cold, and I'm scared all the time. Night terrors, bedwetting. And I don't know what it is. We'll figure it out.
Maybe you're seeing old.
Maybe. That's what Ross has been telling me.
The bedwetting. That's great.
Man, it's so good to be back with you guys this week. I know there's a lot for us to catch up on. I'll give you a quick overview of one of the reasons we have been off. About 6 weeks ago, I had a couple of strokes, and praise the Lord that I don't have any lasting effects from that. But I did have a ton of follow-up doctor visits where I had like 3 and 4 visits a week that I was going with, and I appreciate you guys bearing with me. And Marshall's wrote me. He goes, "Hey, if you want to take a few weeks off, that's completely fine." I'm like, or we could do it from the hospital. I mean, no one's ever done a podcast from the MRI, I don't think. But as long as we don't have any metal that can go flying around in that room, we probably make it. Come to find out, couldn't do that from the MRI room. But no, everything is good now. And I basically am a part of about 25% of people who have strokes that they go, yeah, we don't know why you had it. And they can't find a reason.
It is so alarming to get that kind of answer when you're going through that, man. God bless you.
To be honest, it's okay. Like I'm glad that at least so they kind of just stopped probing.
Yeah.
They just go like for a long time. And there's still a couple of things that they want to check out that kind of don't really have anything to do with the stroke anymore. But yes, I mean, again, I'll say it. Praise God that I don't have any lasting effects. It affected memory area and mobility area of my brain, and it was they were 2 small non-bleeding strokes, but everything works. So you can't see it all on camera. There it is. All my hands work, my feet work. I'm standing up right now, and I think I'll remember your names. It's Vaughn something. Yeah. So memory, I think, is just fine. You guys have been busy though as well. You've had a lot going on in the past couple of weeks. I haven't had a chance to catch up on it all, but I'd like to hear from you guys what you've been up to.
Man, we've been back at it. So a lot busier in wrestling, which has been awesome.
That's great.
You know, before I get into that, dude, I wanted to say too, you've been inspirational in regards of going through that and being like lighthearted. And
dude, I was just about to say that the mentality that you've been like, you know, because you've been kind of filling us in, you know, when it was, you know, a huge surprise and kind of at its worst and at its darkest. And man, you didn't really skip a step as far as your faith and just being positive and being encouraging to the people around you, you know, despite going through what you're doing. So, man, salute, you know, and respect for that, man.
A lot of people say, you know, when you are a Christian, I don't consider me and Ross like typical Christians just because of our dad's lifestyle and the way we came up and stuff. It was like more like, on the road Christian or something or whatever, but we've seen people, there's a difference between someone that, you know, can talk the talk and walk the walk. But when you see someone go through adversity and
the real them comes out. Yeah.
Yeah. And the real them comes out. You see if they're ruled by fear or what, and you're not just living for yourself. You have children that depend on you. You have a wife and all that stuff. And so it's, you can take it and go through it and put on a brave face, but your feet were on the rock, man. And that showed us that you really are, you walk the walk, man. And that's not easy news to get. Some people it's terrifying. We experienced something like that with my sister, and it is worse when it's someone you love. Not worse, but it's harder when it's someone you love. And like our family, I remember my dad praying over me when I was little. I had the flu, and he was like, God, give it to me. Take it out of him. Give it to me. That's how our family is. Our family, we all love each other, bear each other's burdens. And that one was, that was a heavy one for Ross and I too, man. You're a brother to us now. And I was pumped too when I was like, hey, maybe take a few weeks off, because it's I don't know, man. We want you to feel good and have a peaceful heart. But one of the shows we did one show, believe after you found out, and you didn't skip a beat, nothing. And thank you, God, it wasn't, you're there. You're still Anthony. There's no,
and this story has a good ending, so we're just being faithful, and it's just cool to watch and see firsthand.
Yeah.
Man. But it's all good.
I'm glad that's what has shined through. So that's the most important part, because everybody has trials of one thing or another. If you haven't had anything, you will have something. That is, it is promised. If you're a believer, it's promised by Jesus himself that you will face tribulations in this life. And it can mean many, many different things and what those tribulations may look like. And man, I'm very thankful that is what has shown through in it all.
Amen.
Yeah, brother.
And not me, but so thank you for saying that. I will put a link in here where I do share more about everything that we walk through. My another show that I work on. He was a country singer. Now he is an elder and a preacher, and has a podcast. His name was Granger Smith, and I was on his. I work on his podcast every week. Producer and kind of sidekick on that now, and he invited me to share my whole testimony on there. So I'll link that in the description of this video. If you'd like to check it out, you can. You don't have to, but if you'd like to dig into it a little bit more, I'll put it there and you can watch it. I do know that I've seen clips on social media of you guys. You're hanging with Sammy. You're backstage. He ended up. Listen. Before our last episode, Dustin was still the TNT champion. So we have a lot to catch up on when it comes to wrestling here. And why don't you just kind of start there from when Dustin ended up getting hurt and being taken out?
So I believe it was, no, it wasn't Philly. When Dustin fought Fletcher, that was, what town was that in? That was in Cleveland.
I think it was, Cleveland.
Yeah, we were there though. We came out to have, Dustin's back and all that stuff. And not gonna lie, it was hard to watch the guy get a screwdriver in the knee, and it was gruesome and stuff. But luckily, Dustin needed his knees replaced anyway, so it's might as well. But Dustin I believe he just got surgery, or
I saw a picture of that. Yeah,
yes, and so
little cap on and everything. Yeah.
Any of our listeners, a little prayer request for Dustin is for a speedy recovery. And that guy's needed to take care of his knees for a long time, man. And the way he's been going for a long time, and he's solid. He really is solid. So Ross and I, we came into AEW for Dustin. Dustin what he told us is he needed somebody he could trust. And so Ross and I, our motives haven't really been towards the tag team titles since we've been there, which naturally that feels like where we should focus our attention. Yeah. But, we're like Texas first. Dustin needs us. And then we got blessed enough by getting to go for some belts, the trio titles. And so it meant a lot to us that we still got to fight for gold. And so now that Dustin is gone, I don't really know what's in the future as far as those trio belts, if they're going to have us, pass them on, or Ross and I can just 2-on-3, man, see what happens. But Sammy, luckily we got Sammy over here. Sammy's just been solid through and through since we've all teamed up, and we both believe we can trust them. And we got to have a trios match with Sammy, and that wasn't in Cleveland, was it? Where was that? I'm mixing up the towns, man. But anyways, Sammy, we came in with Sammy, and Sammy was just solid as usual. And so now we got this pay-per-view coming up in Philly, and that's nice. We're going to see see how we all, work as a team. And then Sammy, he has a decision to make right now because he's still tag team champion, ROH tag team champion, and he needs a partner. And so we definitely put the invitation out there that, we wouldn't want anyone else if it makes the most sense for him to step into Dustin's place. And then we kind of volunteered ourselves for the tag team titles. Ross and I both have, tag team champion experience.
Sure.
Longest reigning MLW tag team champions. And it's
can you apply the Freebird rule if one of you feels in? Can you kind of flip either guy can go in for that?
That would be
I almost feel that way, right?
That would be pretty sick too, because depending on your opponent, because Ross and I both have strengths and weaknesses. If they're going up a certain team, sure. If they need more technical wrestling, throw Ross in there.
Yeah, get whatever advantage you can.
Yeah.
If
you need clotheslines and lariats, what's up?
Yeah, you're there. You're ready for it.
Then clothesline lariat, same thing. But
and that's what's up. So is it? What's the pay-per-view?
It is. I said it like 3 times wrong in the promo, so I'm gonna get it right this time. In the promo, Blood Before Honor. No, it's not that. It's
Death Before Dishonor.
What is it?
Ross, look it up, dude.
What'd you say again?
I said Blood Before Honor.
Death Before Dishonor.
That's it. It's Death Before Dishonor. That's it.
Yeah, I knew Honor was in there.
Yeah. So in Philly, that's coming. When is that coming up?
That is the 29th, I believe.
So this weekend.
Yeah, this weekend.
This weekend. That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. Ring of Honor, Death Before Dishonor in Philly. Is that in the ECW Arena?
That's why we're so excited.
Oh yeah.
And we're gonna go see if our signatures are still on that wall too. Is that in that wall in a bathroom?
Yeah, that's it. It's at that arena for sure.
Yeah,
I think it's like the downstairs bathroom or something.
Does it say for a good time call above it? Or
so Ross did. Ross asked me to leave so we can make a little message.
Not that autograph. That's incredible. That's going to be it. So one of you don't know which one it is, or even if it's one of you, could be teaming up with Sammy.
Yeah, we're assuming it's one of us, and that would just make most logical sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much the predicament we're in.
I guess he's able to pick anybody. I'm pretty sure, but yeah, we volunteered our names out there and stuff.
Yeah, and we've had a great relationship with Sammy, like right upon meeting him. I think we met him, back in the 2010s, a long time ago. Yeah, but yeah, to team back up with him now, man, we're on the same page.
Big deal.
Makes all
it really doesn't matter who it is, but people are hopefully they're starting to understand. But Ross and I, like, we really do feel like together, we're like one person. It doesn't matter who it is. If there's no like that kind of the movie tried to push that like stigma of the brother rivalry,
the competition. Yeah, it's like it's more of a we just want to win. We want the Von Erich name to win. And we want to win in wrestling. Whatever team we're a part of.
If something happened where I couldn't wrestle or Ross couldn't wrestle and the other one was getting moving up and succeeding, I promise that's
I'd be the first one cheering them on. Exactly.
Yeah. And so we have a thing called brother cut. So no matter what,
So you're defending both the trios and the tag titles, right? So you're going to have a busy weekend, much like you did in Arlington. That seems like a busy weekend of wrestling there as well. Man, I'm excited for that. Coming up this weekend, Death Before Dishonor, Ring of Honor pay-per-view. Speaking of pay-per-views, and I kind of want to shift gears on the landscape of wrestling on streaming is changing dramatically, and we all know that just before college football kicking off this weekend, the ESPN app relaunched with all new features, a bunch of new things. I know that in 2026 UFC comes off of the ESPN app, and starting with not the next pay-per-view, but the one after, the one that they just added, WWE will be moving to ESPN for pay-per-views. And there's a lot of controversy about, now charging $40 for that app. However, if you do have, normal cable, or if you do Hulu Live TV or anything like that, you get everything that's on that app for free. So you'll get the pay-per-views. But Do you see like traditional pay-per-views for it's not the luxury of Ring of Honor or for some of ones below Ring of Honor, like let's say GCW. They're going to have to continue to do something to make money, and you can't do away with pay-per-views. But where do you see it moving? Do you guys have any ideas, or do you see them getting on something they could stream? Not necessarily an ESPN app, but something like it.
Yeah, it seems like streaming is the direction everything's just flowing. But in a perfect world, the pay-per-view setup would be good for the smaller people. But that just seems like where we're going, and all you can do is
like $15 or $20 and not $40, $50, $60. What I am interested in is UFC moving to Paramount Plus, where you just pay for the app, and then you don't have the fees of pay-per-views on top of it. So I am excited about that part.
That is great, because me and Ross and I were, when the pay-per-views were, what was the most expensive one? Like $80
through like $80. They're $79. Yeah,
through like 2020 through like 23. Basically, I bought like every pay-per-view. And
we're all mad about it.
We watch them go from, we were complaining at $60. And then it's like, at first it was like 59, 79. And now,
79 right now.
Come on, man.
I remember so many times, they up the price, like, all right, you just lost a fan. I'm not watching anymore.
I'm like, I'm never watching again. Boom, come crawling.
Then you're
back.
on the next one.
Yeah,
I think that's what it did make a lot of wrestling fans, or WWE fans per se, angry that they were moving over to, now you've got to pay for ESPN to watch PLEs. You have to go to Peacock to watch NXT pay-per-views or PLEs. You have to then pay for Netflix to watch Raw, and it is just all these different things. And it's funny because outside of the United States, if you're a WWE fan, all you have to do is get Netflix, and you get everything.
Yeah, it should be.
Man, yeah, that WWE, obviously they know what they're doing to be set, I guess, spread out like that or whatever. But I feel like streaming is just the future. Everyone. I was talking to my friend Ben from Israel, and I was asking him, like, what's like the thing everyone watches to get their information and news and all that stuff. And believe it or not, he said TV was never really a thing because or whatever, but TV's actually coming. I think it's because of all the news and stuff's going on. People have been actually watching TV, but I always feel bad when older wrestlers back then, TV was the thing. Everybody wanted to get on a network and all that, and I almost wish it was like that again. Sometimes I think it's kind of cool that everyone goes to one place to watch it, and it's you got to make plan your day around it and all that stuff.
Those days are almost done, it seems like.
Yeah, I know. Man, I think it might be like the middle.
I know that it was a lot of money, but it was like you planned like events around pay-per-views.
Exactly.
Like everybody got together and split it. Everybody throwing a 5.
Yes.
Yeah. Big pool. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we had to do too for the UFC fights. Right. All right. 10 guys.
I know. I started getting, we complained, but we just started inviting more and more people and
bring people over. Yeah. I sent you guys a video that I saw a couple of days. This was a couple of days ago when I sent it. I knew we were going to have our podcast recording today, and Ross, you were the first to reply to me about it. But it was Rampage Jackson's son, Raja Jackson, who is, I believe, an MMA fighter. At least he does like Brazilian jiu-jitsu, or he does something in the MMA world. But mainly he streams. He streams on Kick and what have you all the time. And he was doing that when he walked backstage at a Knox Pro event, which is owned by Rikishi.
That's right.
And now formerly a WWE ID or independent affiliation, which has now been dropped because of this incident.
Dropped?
Yeah, it's been dropped from WWE ID. Okay. Yeah,
I was wondering if it was going to happen, man.
Just a quick overview. You probably have seen it by now. Backstage, an altercation happened where one wrestler thought that Raja was another worker. So he saw cameras around and started something with him that would have been a work. Quickly realized after people telling him this, he's not a worker. He's not a wrestler. You can't do this to him. And you see him on camera saying, man, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. I saw the cameras. I saw what was going on. I thought that you're a worker. I'm sorry. And Raja accepts his apology. At least it seems as though. Then you go to the ringside with Raja sitting there talking to somebody on the phone with a planned run-in to get a receipt on a guy named Psycho Stu, who was the guy who had the altercation with backstage. You see him do a double leg takedown, knocks him out, but then proceeds to pummel 20-something blows to his head, neck, and chest on a completely defenseless pro wrestler.
Yeah.
That it turned my stomach, and I sent to go, I know this is going to piss them off and make them mad. I want to know, in your words, what you thought the first time you saw it.
Man, violated, dude, honestly. Like that was
it was literally offensive is what it was, man.
Yeah, man. It's especially in just the pro wrestling world, the etiquette of, your I guess Dad wouldn't like this breaking kayfabe, but whatever. You're allowing, and this guy, you're allowing him, control your body. You're giving yourself to him, and it's just a cardinal rule. When someone does that, you don't take advantage, man. You don't take advantage. And they shook hands, and I didn't even really know the full context when I saw the video, but that's wrong. No matter what the beef was, I don't know when that would ever be acceptable unless the guy killed somebody you love or something. It was just unbelievable. After Stu was unconscious, I think he was unconscious after the takedown. It looked like it. Yeah. The whiplash, and just to lay him in. At first I was like, man, this kid, he's got a future.
I was assuming because just out of context, when I first saw it, I saw them shake hands, and I knew the beef to a degree. And then I thought after the slam, I was like, he's probably just going to give him one decent one or something right there. And then you see the first one come, and you're like, oh dang, okay, that was harder than I thought. And then 2, 3, 5, 10, you're like, what am I watching right now?
And I was a little upset at the wrestlers too, man. Like,
it took so long for anybody to get in.
Get in there and save your boy, because he couldn't defend himself. He was defenseless. And I've always been a fan of Rampage Jackson. I know Ross has too. We grew up watching him, and he's been like a big inspirational, figure to us and stuff. And so telling my dad a little bit of the situation, he was saying that's just a difficult position to be in when your son is obviously in the wrong in front of the whole world.
Yeah, his hands were tied. What can he really do?
And how do you respond as a father? You don't want to, I don't know what the right response would be, but also emotions are high. It was fresh after it happened. I saw something with him on a phone, and he was, I don't know if he was defending what his son did, because his thoughts could change now that, it's been a couple of days and you slept on it, thought about it, and you really realize each person is a human being. Stu's got family, veteran, he signed his life away for our country. And, that's he didn't deserve that. He really didn't deserve that. And, but for you, what was just, what bothered me was that kid had so much time to let that, to think about it. And, after having the shaking hands and watching the guy wrestle, to still decide this is okay to go in there and, as a son of a legend, because his dad's a legend in UFC and our dad, in pro wrestling, I understand that maybe a little bit he feels like he's in the shadow of his dad and he needs to make his own name and he's got to get it up, but that's not the way to do it, brother. That's not the way. It's honor. A good name comes from, just those.
It may have been that same clip that you saw too. I did notice that Rampage's initial reaction to seeing the video was turned off. He's like, oh, I can't believe this. He's like, I certainly hope that this isn't real.
From the wrestler's perspective, right off the bat, he was doing a cool, nice introduction thing when he's like, immediately I'm gonna do like this little angle skit gimmick thing with you where I'm gonna nail you and you're gonna sell, and we'll talk about it when the camera's off. I'm like, oh, that was cool, nice to meet you, whatever. That's kind of. But he didn't know. He was that the wrestler thought he was a wrestler, and so he was dealing with a wrestler, and he wasn't. So it could have gone. Which way it should have have gone where, you know, he would have sold it and everything would have been great or whatever. But yeah,
Rikishi, as of this recording, Rikishi still has not said anything about it.
Yeah, he's better say something.
Whether he will or not, I don't know. And man, I would think, especially after being disassociated by WWE as a WWE ID property, then which is just their, you know, they're certified, these independent promotions certifying, you know, they'll have guys come through there, and I could see why they wouldn't want to, you know, if things like this happen, you got to distance yourself from them at least immediately. But it'd be interesting to see what else happens. But thankfully, from everything that I've read, everything that I've seen, that Psycho Stu is doing okay in the hospital. This could have been, for both guys, could have been very, very tragic. It could have been the end of a life for Psycho Stu, and it could be the end of a life for Raja as well. If he had killed him,
oh gosh,
the rest of his life would have been ruined.
No, because that kid doesn't deserve to be. Even though we're seeing that, still he's a kid, and it's just
made a dumb decision.
Yeah, it's a dumb decision.
And, you know, it makes me think, because we see this, and then we also saw what happened with Travis Scott and his smack on Cody Rhodes, busting his eardrums. Like, maybe we should, you know, unless you're doing what Logan Paul does, and you're actually training and working and everything, you're taking everything seriously, and you've spent time on that side training and learning how to do this, that maybe we ought to leave some celebrities like this away from action. Still be involved is great. Anytime, anywhere close to action, need to keep clear of that. Probably, I think maybe that's gotten a little laxed in the last few years.
Yes, man.
Feels like it.
Pro wrestling too. Pro wrestling is, especially in the indies, there's an unbelievable amount of trust in strangers. You know, you're meeting a guy for the first time, and you're, you know, that day, and you're talking over moves, and this guy just met powerbomb me onto the floor. Yeah, that's fine. Sure. You know, it's just like, he's a pro wrestler. He's trained, you know, and so I feel for both of them. And Stu, he looks like an older guy, probably didn't on the internet all the time, probably didn't know that, you know.
Yeah, well, no clue. And I know if that were to happen to somebody I love, or one of the fellow wrestler that I know, but just the fact that it was a pro wrestler, naturally it's anger, a lot of anger, and Ross knows. I called him right away. I was like, "What is it?" I was so mad, man.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
frustrated.
You were hot. Yeah, you know, and there's in wrestling, there's good heat, bad heat, and they say any heat is good or whatever. But yeah, there's go away heat too, and that's like it's not any kind of heat you want to be a part of, unfortunately.
No. Go away.
You guys are going to be heating things up in Philly, I know, coming up this weekend. So excited to see what happens. Which one of you, if one of you teams up with Sammy for his tag titles, and then how you guys defend the trios at Death Before Dishonor this weekend in Philly at the old ECW Arena. Man, that's going to be very, very exciting. Excited to talk to you guys next week after all of this as well. So make sure you check out that pay-per-view, guys. It's good to connect with you. Back on it every week here on
it feels so good to get back on here, talk with you. And it just, you know, every now and then you'll get like you used to get deja vu, but we're just now, as we're sitting here talking, man, I'm so grateful just for where God has us in our lives, having a relationship with you. The fact that we get to go wrestle in a place that we grew up watching, you know, the ECW Arena. God really is. Yeah, man. God is so good. And life's full of seasons, and this is just a beautiful season. And kind of what I'm talking about with you, with the stroke stuff, it's, you know, I used to think, I read my Bible so that God will be proud of me. You know, that's, you kind of look at it like that. But it's, as you mature and get older, it's not, we don't serve a God that that you need to do chores for, or earn your way. Yeah, keep tab and earn your way. Honestly, the deeper you get into it, it's he doesn't need anything from us. You know, he didn't need anything from us, and just walking around with this grateful heart. And Bible verses are to equip you during suffering, and just it makes life easier. It's like sharpens your sword and stuff. And watching you go through that, man, I'm so glad that we're all three. It's on the same team, man. That you really did walk it out, and we're so glad that we could watch it with you. And thank you, God, that it stopped there. You're healthy. You're good now, and we're back on doing our show. And if anybody else has some prayer requests, let us know.
He walked it like he talked it. So that's
stuck in my head all day.
Be honored to pray with you. Yeah, and excited to be back with you guys every week here on the Claw Pod. Don't miss Death Before Dishonor. Come on, Erichs, this weekend. Guys, good to see you.
Good to see you, man.
See you next week here on the Claw Pod.